Good everyone, my name is Coolpilot, here to give a relatively quick little channel update here. I'm going to start off just by telling you what the series stuff is going to be and the plan for actually releasing stuff first, to get that out of the way before getting into what's been going on. Technically, I've talked about it on Twitter a little bit, but it's even been a long time since I've updated there. And I meant to get this video out months ago, but a lot of things have been getting in the way. Talk about that in a minute. First off, the plan. Next week, videos are going to start coming out again. I'm taking the end of this week to basically just prepare materials, especially for the new series. But also, I need to do get an end card ready too, because I've been needing an end card for a while, and I just never got around to it. Need one. But the two series I will be doing is obviously Pokemon Platinum and Nuzlocke, as I had mentioned originally. It's the original plan to start with. The other game will not be Pokemon Sword. Pokemon Sword has been canceled. It's just been too long. Second DLC is about to freaking come out. I know so much more of the game. It kind of ruins the semi-blind aspect of it. Because again, it's just been too long. I find out more about it. It is just not good. It's just not going to work. I'll see if I can, go through the old footage I have, see if there's anything I want to save to maybe include in the Shield series, and just talking about Sword and Shield and my thoughts on it, and my bitching on it. But otherwise, I just gonna finish Sword on my own, and talk about my thoughts when I get to Shield. Shield will end up being a Nuzlocke, by the way. I am currently planning to do a type lock. I haven't settled the type. I really want to do grass, but it's just not that feasible without Creedilly, especially with the champion having a freaking Charizard. When the only option to face against that is Ludicolo. Just not quite got the right grass type, especially since they refuse to make another grass water type or another grass rock type. But that won't be coming right away. That will come later down the line. I'm not doing Shield right away. Instead, the second series will be Inkenfell, which releases on October 8th, next Thursday. So I'll be trying to get the first video out on Friday or Saturday. Record it on release, and then edit. Probably it's not going to be rendered and everything and be ready to release until Friday, even if I edit it the same day. So aiming for Friday or Saturday release on that one. And then the Platinum, obviously, earlier in the week. So yeah, those will be the two series I will be focusing on to start. Once one of them is finished, and then I'll start looking at, okay, what's the other series I want to do? Do I go straight to the Shield? Do I maybe do some Civ 6? I'll figure that out when I get to it. For now, Pokemon Platinum and Nuzlocke, and Inkenfell. 2 vids a week, one of each series. Potentially increasing output if I think I can, and can work that with everything else between playing Planet as I do, with Winter Gaming Outfit, having off nights there, and watching Seahawks. I'll pretty much lose a day each week to watching the Seahawks play. 3-0. Watching Russell Wilson fillet, saute, and flambe every single defense he comes across. And obviously working on the art. Just gotta manage the different stuff I'm doing. I figure I probably will just stick to 2. I do eventually want there to be set days that the vids are releasing on, but to start out with, it's just going to be flexible 2 vids a week. They'll come out when they come out, but they'll both come out during the week. And then kind of work on a more set schedule from there. The reason why I want to have a more set schedule is me getting back into the vids here. And the whole entire point originally, and the point still now, is that having something that's got a deadline of some sort, even if it's a soft deadline to start with, of just get 2 vids a week, and eventually becoming a little bit more of a hard deadline, I think will really help me and my work ethic issues of actually getting the work done. Because the art, I have actually done work on my art during some of the intervening time I've been gone. Getting into some of those issues in a moment. But the last couple of weeks, I've been trying to get back into it again because it's been a bit of a lull because of the heat wave. heat wave is one of the issues. Just heat in general has been one of the issues that's been causing problems more recently for me getting to work on non-video stuff. The editing has been the issue that has prevented me from making vids for the last several months, because I haven't been able to edit. We will get into that in a bit. But I've been actually able to draw for a while now. For most of this time, actually. And I had gotten, started on it, having a couple weeks in a row of just drawing almost every day, and it was going good. I visited my friends, and then heat. Freaking heat wave. I don't do well with heat. And we have no air conditioning. All I got's a fan. Obviously, when I eventually get out on my own. Priority number 1, getting an air conditioner. Because I have a hard time with heat. It drains my energy. It screws up with my sleep schedule. It being summer also didn't help, because just being summer screws up my sleep schedule with the sun rising so damn early in the morning. Daylight savings hurt me as well on that regard. And it's just been kind of hard for me to trying to get back to drawing again. With the heat, when my flow basically got interrupted. And I think getting started on the videos will also help the workflow issues and help me to be able to actually sit down and focus and actually do the art. Because the only thing I've been able to do and have good workflow on since the heat started up, and we still have some heat, by the way, we had some cooler days recently, been able to get a little bit of work done. But it's supposed to be, I think, 78 tomorrow here. I'm actually gonna, hold on. Yeah, 76 high today, 78 tomorrow on the last day of September, 74 October 1st. 74, 70, then it's a little more decent, 70, 66, 68, that's a little more decent. 74 is still hot to me. It doesn't take much to get above room temperature for me to start feeling hot, just because of how my body reacts to temperature. In Fahrenheit, obviously, American. Be melting if that was Celsius. But it's like heat this freaking late in the year. Been a pain in the butt. But the only thing I've really been able to do is I did some scripting. Not on Silver Hair, actually, on another new comic idea. One of 2 new comics ideas I had since last I talked here. The first one actually being part of being the reason, well, the main reason. It's a couple of other little things, but that was like the big thing. That was the initial delay in April. Kind of pushed things to like late April when I was finally about to go back and do videos. So I had a new comic idea then. That one is Fighting with Silver Hair, which is going to be my first comic. For status of best comic. Silver Hair has the edge because it's more complete. And by more complete, I mean the story is complete, basically. Outside of some specific scenes and, working out specific dialogue of a lot of the, like, the really late chapters in the late volumes. But, I mean, the story's figured out. I know what's everything that's going on. So, that new one has more holes in it because it's new. I haven't been working on it for anywhere near as long as I have Silver Hair. And obviously, I have more focus on Silver Hair because it's going to be the first one, so I'm actively working on it more. But it was just what I have there, and the core story that I do have figured out, the main storyline, the main characters, is really freaking good. Spent 3 days not doing anything on my computer. 2 of those days I didn't even turn my computer on, and crying my eyes out over so many scenes. It's that freaking good. So that was the initial delay until late April. And then, of course, I had a newer story idea that I was able to get some scripting done, but just haven't been able to get much done and do as much work as I wanted to since late April because my arm went numb. I'm not going to go into like the super specifics of everything. It turns out that it was an ergonomics issue. It's like a nerve that runs through like some sort of tunnel in the arm and the elbow. The doctor figured that I was basically like pinching it. through the way I had things set up on this new desk. And it's just kind of an inherent issue of how I wanted it to be set up and the stuff I have right now. And it's remained an issue, like, even now, like, gaming, I still have to put my left arm up on the desk. The key is, don't have arms up on the desk, have your hands up on the desk, have arms and elbows down on the chair. And I'm able to do that with most everything. It's, in fact, why I've been able to draw most of this time is elbow on the armrest, hand up on the screen, no issues. And on top of that, the reason why I was able to get back to the drawing first is, well, the numbness was really bad, and it was affecting both arms, mainly my right, but affecting my left a bit too, and I had a lot of weakness in my arms as well. And this happened pretty much overnight, by the way. It's like one day I'm, sitting here and thinking, okay, my arms, bottom of my lower arms kind of feeling a little bit of pain. This happened a few times, but it's always resolved the next day. And tomorrow I'm gonna get to recording videos and working on art. Finally get back to it because I've done enough on this news story. It's time to get to work. And then wake up the next day and just horrendously numb. You can barely do anything with the arm. It's not fun. Incredibly nerve-wracking and stressful. Especially as an artist, I'm going to be depending on this damn arm. But the way I draw, I actually am pretty good at, drawing, quote, correctly, end quote, in terms of ergonomics. I do use my wrist a little bit too much, in terms of long-term impact, but I primarily draw using my arm, not with my wrist or my fingers. I don't draw with my fingers at all. I do have to cut back on the wrist stuff a little bit, for this, the long-term health of my wrist. My wrist is currently, fine. The only problems I've been having with wrist recently has been, the numbness that's affected everything. But because I was already pretty good when it came to good ergonomics on drawing, I was able to get back to that sooner. And it wasn't an action that really aggravated it at all. In fact, it didn't aggravate it at all. But everything else was. I couldn't even use my mouse. I was able to get back to drawing within a month and a half or so. I was having to use my mouse with my left hand for 3.5 months. I couldn't go back to using it with my right hand for a long time. And, now I have a better setup for it. I have it at the edge of the desk. My wrist is sitting on the edge of the desk and my fingers over the mouse, right on the edge. My elbow resting on the armrest. Instead of having my arm up on the desk and mouse way in the middle. Just doing a much better job at it now. Just don't want to get a baseball diamond shaped mouse pad though, because it's a little annoying having my wrist basically up against. It's not up against the wood because I do at least have a little mat, a really flat, big mouse pad mat that I'm using here. But I like something a little cushier. But keyboard's also been an issue, and getting the ergonomics of that settled out. And using keyboard and mouse actively at the same time has also been an issue. And it's something I haven't really been able to do until around the last month. Basically, I haven't been able to play PC games except for the last month, where I decided to go back to Final Fantasy 2 with the escalation update. Actually, escalation update was earlier this year. Right, because I was getting back to Final Fantasy 2 at the beginning of the year about membership, but then had to stop because of the arm issue, right? But getting back into it again, fortunately wasted most of my boost. 6-month boost! Got to use a couple weeks of it. Because my arm was numb for most of that time frame. But joining a winter gaming outfit, doing some outfit ops, a couple times a week, and just doing, a couple, doing those play sessions, and that's it in Planetside. Having, 1 or 2, 3-hour play sessions, to be a bit of a test, let me test on, am I ready to edit again? Because editing doesn't take as much, effort, doesn't put as much strain on my arms as playing a PC game, especially a very active one like PlanetSide 2. But it does still put a lot of stress on it. And like even something like finishing naming characters in Silverhair. I still have to finish the English names, but it's a massive long list of potential English names to go through, and I have to sort through them all and figure out, okay, what does this name mean? What does this name mean? And find the right ones that I want to use. So many of them, it takes a lot of mouse work. Click on the name, go to the other tab, see what it means, click out of it. If I don't want it, go to the next one, click on that one. This is tons of moving the mouse around, checking a billion different things. I've been delaying that because I know that doing that much mouse moving and clicking like that would cause me a bit of stress on my hand and arm even before my arm went numb. So I didn't want to do it while I was having those issues. I can get back to doing that now too. But editing is a lot of mouse movement, a lot of keyboard usage. I didn't want to do that. It's like I've been able to play the games that I was intended to play this entire time because I could still use a controller just fine. I have the controller down in my lap. That wasn't causing me any issues. It's one of the few things that was able to kind of keep me sane was playing Animal Crossing and Xenoblade during some of those early months. But I couldn't get to the editing. It's just too much work. It took me a while for me to be comfortable doing typing. It's like while I did, write that script I mentioned for this other comic. It was a couple months ago now, I think. I think I did that late July, early August, somewhere in there. And like that was when I did that was like the soonest that I felt comfortable typing. Pretty much. So it's just been a slow progression, getting back to getting my arms healthy, being able to do this crap again. It's taken way longer than I would have really liked. It's been half a year, basically. I mean, as of Thursday, I'm recording this on Tuesday. I'm actually skipping out on the PlanetSide Ops today to get more work done. But come Thursday, October 1st, it will have been 6 months, March, April, April's 4th month, since I dedicated myself to get back to making videos and working on there a lot more. And it's just so frustrating losing half a year to something that I just didn't expect and couldn't really foresee. It's technically my fault because, it was an ergonomics issue. It's my decision making that caused it, but it's not a thing I could have really expected or predicted would have been such an issue. But at the very least, I am back for real this time. I can edit again. I can draw. And I'm going to use these video series to help get my work ethic issues under control as well. So that is like another thing that is a problem. That's been more of a problem with the artwork recently. Like I technically have been meaning to get back to doing the video makings for the last couple weeks, like after I had a couple weeks of PlanetSide done. But the last couple weeks has just been just other stuff that I've been worried about and some issues with heat and trying to get my sleep schedule back on track and self-care, and it's like a lot of those sort of little things. The same thing that happened at the beginning of April. A lot of little things that were delaying it a little bit before I finally had the gumption to go do it, and then immediately had the arm going up. So hopefully my computer doesn't blow up tomorrow. Some other unforeseeable event immediately kick me in the teeth. And hopefully we won't have any issues this time. I will say I'm really looking forward to getting back to Platinum. I am really looking forward to playing it. I've been looking forward to that for quite a while. It's part of the reason why I absolutely wanted to get back to getting video making now, because I want to play that on release. It's like I knew, okay, I'm doing Ink and Fell. Starting Ink and Fell on launch. I mean, I actually helped kickstart that, so I want to play it, lo and behold. So, yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Hope you guys look forward to it as well. Hopefully I can get my groove back with the drawing as well. I've been trying to, the last couple weeks. Just been a little tough because of where I'm at into the learning process. It's like, I understand how to draw a human head and face now, but I need to figure out how I want to draw it. It's the issue of, okay, I understand the mechanics now, I understand the shapes and everything, but what style do I want to use? And that's something is taking forever to figure out, because I just don't know. It's a much more difficult thing for me to really work with and get from brain to, well, not paper, but brain to screen. So it's just been part of the issue for the drawing. It's just been frustration with where I'm at the moment, but work to get past it. So it ended up being 22 minutes now, a little longer than intended, but I mean, most of that's just the update on what's been going on with health issue. That was inevitably going to happen. It is just the nature of it is a bit of a longer talk. So yeah, videos will start next week. I'll see you guys then.